Alright, what is good traders? Welcome back to the channel. It's Daniel Effects here. Hopefully you've had an amazing week. I hope you've had a fat payout from your prop firm, from your personal account. And yeah, just run up that bread, you get me? Today we're going to be doing a weekly breakdown or a weekly forecast. So today we're going to be doing a weekly breakdown or a weekly forecast of what I think is going to be happening next week on the indices, on NAS, on US30, on German 30. And if you've been paying attention, I done one of these last week and actually ended up calling like 3,000 pips on NASDAQ in a single day. It was beautiful. Price played out exactly how I wanted it to play out. And even though I got caught lacking on my own move, which does happen from time to time, one of my students, shout out Hamid, managed to catch an absolute banger of a trade thanks to that forecast. I'm gonna put it up right here. Hopefully I can find the screenshot. If not, then I just high five nothing. But yeah, shout out Hamid, bro. You're killing it this week. But yeah, pay attention. You might actually learn something. Let's go through some analysis. Let's see what's happening. I feel like it's gonna be a decent week. It's gonna be a decent week. Not as nice as last week, because last week was beautiful. But therefore a solid week. We've got lots of volume in the market. The dollar is doing backflips at the moment. There's money to be made, and we're gonna make it. So without further ado, you know what time it is. Let's run the intro. All right, traders, so we're here on the charts. Let's go through some analysis. Let's break down what we want to see. As always, we start off on DXY, on the dollar index. The dollar controls the market. I don't know how many times we're going to say this in my lifetime, but yeah, I'm just going to keep saying it until you guys understand that DXY literally controls everything. It's arguably the most important chart in trading. So starting off here on the daily, we're actually going to zoom in. And you can see, again, similar to last week, the dollar really hasn't done much. Now, to me, what this is indicating is that price really wants to hold. We really want to, we don't want to break this area. Price does not want to break below. But at the same time, we're lacking the strength. We're lacking the buying pressure to break above. Now, I don't want to get too economically and into the fundamentals and everything, but the US is an absolute mess at the moment economically. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last week, but we're not in a good place for the US economy to be bouncing up. And that doesn't mean that we may not gain strength, because if you were trading last year, you would know that even though the whole time the economy was going down, the dollar was going up, because these guys just print money like it's fucking candy canes. But I don't know why I'd print a candy cane, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I feel like we're holding around this level. More than likely, we may have a fake out to the upside, but ultimately, we're still very much bearish on the dollar. I'm anticipating sells. Hopefully, next week, we start to see some of that volume enter the market and start to see this level get broken. I'm saying once we do actually break these structural lows, once we break 101, 400 flat, we're melting. Because if you actually zoom out to the weekly time frame, we've been holding at this major weekly low for a while. And this is like the biggest area on the weekly time frame. And once we break this level right here, the next area that may cause some resistance would be all the way down here at like 99 flat. So we've got a decent margin to drop before that can happen. So again, we may see a retracement week. If you see here on the weekly candles, we're starting to lose some bearish momentum. We've had an indecision candle and then an even more indecisive indecision candle, which would imply that we're getting a small retracement at some point. But again, once this level gets broken, we're melting to hell. So just keep an eye on that, maybe set an alert. But that's what we're looking for. Now, taking that information to something like US30, I'm very quickly going to turn my drawings off just to clear it up for you. But you can see on the weekly, it's pretty blatant. We're still bullish. Price is coming up. We're going to come back up and retest these weekly highs up here. Now, granted, we never assume that something is going to get broken. We never assume that price is going to do what we think it's going to do purely because we're good traders. Like, that's not how it works, unfortunately. So I would have a daily level marked above here or marked up here at these structural highs, and I'd be waiting to see structure get broken. So if I turn my drawings back on, furthermore, let's go to a different US30 just to clear it up for you guys. But what I would be doing is I would have a daily level marked across here, and then I would set an alert at maybe like 34, 400 flat. No, that was the wrong tool. Nice one, Daniel. I would set an alert at 34, 400 flat, 400 flat, and 400 flat. There it is. Set an alert at 34,400 flat. And I would wait to see price break above and then take buys on the break and retest above. Again, your next structural high that you'd be targeting would be this wick high right here. But looking at NASDAQ and German 30, there's a very, very strong high probability that we're going to be pushing higher anyway, simply because of the correlation between the indices. So, yeah, this is pretty much what you're looking for on US30. Granted, we may have a retracement. If you look at the daily, we're starting to lose a bit of this momentum here on the daily. So we may have a small pullback, maybe back down to this region here on the 4H. I wouldn't really be surprised if price pulls the whole way back in to these like structural highs and maybe like consolidates around here for like Monday, Tuesday before we get that continuation. But ultimately, I'd be looking for buys above the break of 34,400 flat, and it'd be a beautiful continuation. Now you could also take buys from way down here, maybe on the retracement if price pulls back into 33,700 flat. It would be a nice region to buy from. But personally, in my opinion, the NASDAQ and German 30 just look way better in terms of price action. And there's no need to really be getting involved in this kind of sloppy price in it. Now, if we take it to NASDAQ on a different NASDAQ view, this is the wrong NAS. All right, let me turn my drawings off once again. If we take it to NASDAQ, zoom out again to the weekly, you'll notice that NAS has actually broken weekly structural highs. We've taken out all of this liquidity. You can see this wick high. We broke all the previous 3 weeks worth of wicks, and we've actually come right now into this weekly order block. Now, again, I'm not an SMC trader. I'm not looking to enter off of an SMC 1 minute time frame and short it and do all of this BS, because now I'm just trading with a trend, structural time frame trading. And you can see on the daily, we're in a beautiful uptrend. Price is continuously making higher highs and higher lows. We've broken structure to the upside. It's pretty blatant that we're going to get a continuation. Now, in my opinion, because we've had such a bullish week and we've broken such important structural highs, we may see a retracement once again, probably on the Monday or the Tuesday. We may see a retracement or a slight pullback and a consolidation before I get a continuation for the rest of the week. But again, the overall bias would be buys. In terms of a level that you can be looking at, the main levels I would be monitoring or making a note of would be this structural high up here, the previous relative high, which again, in my opinion, is a bit too, not shallow, a bit too small of a retracement. I feel like price may retrace slightly deeper. And if we are going to get a deeper retracement, the most logical place in my head would be 12,000 flat. It's a beautiful psychological level. Previous bearish candles are resting here. This is the previous area of consolidation before we had that impulsive move that broke structure to the upside. So it just makes sense that if we are going to get it, it will come down to this area. Now, taking the exact same analysis on German 30. German 30 has been beautiful last week. Again, we are kind of still consolidating. We're still in the same general area. And there's lots of liquidity resting above that I've clearly highlighted right here. And again, I would be wanting to see the same thing. Now, German 30 works slightly differently to the rest of the indices, but I would still be anticipating that we're going to open up for Asia, consolidate around this region. Maybe Monday, we're not going to do anything. Maybe retrace back down, take out some structural lows, whatever. But as the week begins to pick up and we get some more volume, I really do want to see these structural highs up here get broken. Again, there's tons and tons of liquidity resting above on German 30. And if we actually zoom out to the weekly here again and turn my drawings off, you can see we've been a little bit indecisive. And that's mainly due to the fact that we've come into this area of like high wickage. It's clearly like a weekly zone that we've kind of come into, and price is now testing and respecting that region. So again, we're not buying in anticipation. We're not just going to wake up on Monday, London session, and just start buying into this market in the hopes that we're going to break above, because that's a very good way to lose money. We're going to wait for the break above, maybe wait for the liquidity sweep and the retest of like 15,200 flat before we can take continuation buys. Again, very, very simple trading this next week. We're just looking for breaks above major points of structure, and we're looking to buy on the retest, on the continuation moves. Super, super simple, innit? I actually love the indices. My dog is barking. We're going to wrap up the video. I'm going to see you guys next week. See you.